I've lived in this small suburban town my entire life, and I've grown accustomed to the familiar faces and routines of my neighbors. But there's one person who has always been an enigma to me, the neighbor who never leaves their house. I've seen the curtains twitch, the lights flicker, and the mail pile up, but I've never seen them step foot outside. At first, I thought it was just a quirky old person, but as the years went by, my curiosity turned to concern. I'd try to strike up a conversation when I saw them at the window, but they'd just stare back at me with a blank expression. It was as if they were a ghost trapped in their own home. I began to wonder if they were even still alive. The house itself seemed to be slowly decaying. The paint chipped, the garden overgrown, and the windows cloudy with grime. I'd catch whiffs of a pungent smell wafting from the vents, like something was rotting inside. One day, I decided to take matters into my own hands and knocked on the door. The sound echoed through the empty streets, but there was no answer. I waited for what felt like an eternity, but the door remained still. I turned to leave, but then I heard a faint whisper, "Welcome to my home." I spun around, but there was no one there. The voice seemed to come from all around me, echoing off the walls. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized that I was being watched. I quickly retreated back to my own house, locking the door behind me. But the whisper lingered in my mind, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being invited into something sinister. That night, I had trouble sleeping, my mind racing with thoughts of my reclusive neighbor. I kept thinking about the whisper, and how it seemed to come from all around me. And then, I heard it again, "Welcome to my home." This time, it was louder, more urgent. I threw off the covers and approached the window. And that's when I saw it. The curtains were open, and my neighbor was standing in the window, staring straight at me. But it wasn't just them. It was the state of the room behind them that made my blood run cold. The walls were covered in old photographs, newspaper clippings, and police reports. And then I saw my own face staring back at me, my name highlighted in red. I realized that my neighbor had been watching me, studying me. For years, the whisper, the smell, the decaying house, it was all a trap, a carefully constructed web to lure me in. And then, the lights went out, and I was plunged into darkness. When they flickered back on, the window was empty, the curtains closed, but I knew that I had to get out of there, to escape the clutches of my neighbor's twisted game. I packed my bags, grabbed my keys, and ran. I never looked back, never stopped to think about what I had left behind. But the whisper still echoes in my mind, a haunting reminder of the terror that lurks in the most familiar of places, next door.